Okay, I'm back. Let me take a good swig here. Again, drinking whiskey and soda through a straw. Walk, and you shall reach. Is exactly this? It was that. Is that exactly this proverb that kept whirling in my head all the way down to the camp leader's cabin? Should I just somehow? I couldn't just manage to argue to pretend that I'm sick or just skip it without reason. Just do it. Fudge it. Just lie naked in the room so when she walks in, you'll have a whole nother conversation rather than why weren't you there? The events of that day taught me submissively. Although sometimes whatever was happening made no sense to me. As I walked in, I had a thought. Well, in fact, how should I get ready? Clothes? I only have one overcoat and a pair of jeans. Anyways, I forgot to ask whether I'm going to be overnight or hike or not. Anyways, I could think of anything better, so I grabbed the sweater that I had on me when I arrived at camp. The night might be fairly chilly, and shuffled slowly off to the square. Gendo was on fire. All the camp was already there, although it was 10 minutes before time Olga had designated. I settled down near the edge and waited patiently. Night was falling. It viewed from the outside what fairly comical picture we would have made. A crowd of pioneers lined up out of sheer habit, like they were waiting a silent command from the bronze Gendo. I know it says Genda, but I'm going with Gendo. And all of this happening in the scarlet rays of sunset. Wow. Whiskey starting to affect. And there he is, waving his hand and screaming attack, as roaring soldiers with red neckerchiefs charged into battles against some ghostly. They're angels. They're fighting the angels. Again, it's Gendo. But Olga showed up and started to talk instead of Genda. It seems everyone's here. Great. I was so tired today that I couldn't even think about anything. So I ended up just listening to the camp leader. Good whiskey. Excuse me. It's essential for every pioneer to be able to come and rescue his comrade, to be offering helping hand in the hour of need, saving them from hopeless situation. We have to learn to do all these things together. A whisper ran throughout the pioneers' crowd, suggesting that probably this the true epic expression would end up in a clearing in the forest several hundreds away from the... Anyway, yeah. Somehow, I thought that too, because I heard them say it, so, you know. Anyway. We walk in pairs. So, if you haven't chosen a partner for yourself yet, now's the right time to do so. Pioneers quickly caught on to the idea and started matching in pairs. It looked like I was the only one without a partner. Sylvia was enthusiastic, discussing something along with Olga. Lena. Sylvia was discussing with Olga. Lena was with Muku. Electronic was, of course, with Shurik. So I don't even get to choose Lena. Is Alice and Ulsa the only one left? Well, it might not be an idea to go alone after all. Simon, the voice of the camp leader, pulled me out of my thoughts. I walked up to her reluctantly. I see that you haven't found a partner yet. Seems like it. Then you'll be... Zoe? Okay, she's alone too. I was struck with that special kind of despair that only a true loner can experience. Trust me, I know. So it appears that I've left with the prickly librarian. That I wouldn't risk spending a couple of hours with, much even if I was paid for. Dear Lord, what did I eat today? Pita Pit, that's what I ate today. Everlasting Summer, officially sponsored by... No, I was kidding. Although we both seem to be in the same boat now. She always has that face. Like, is that what you're wearing today? Whatever. Anyways, what? I slowly approached Zoe. Well, I guess we'll be going together. She looked up at me. Don't you even think that I'm glad? What's with that face? That face is weird. Anyway, Zoe said seriously, Why on earth you should feel glad? Why on earth you should feel glad? Why on earth you should feel... Yeah. I said naively. Never mind. It would be much better if you just shut up. It couldn't get any better than this. You could be with Ulsa or Alice. No, Ulsa's... Who's Alice with then? I don't know. She turned her back on me, and I watched her walk away slowly. What of you? What? And follow the other pioneers. I still haven't seen any special reason to walk in pairs. Anyways, it's a lazy way for the leader or camp counselor, whoever, to not have to worry about people disappearing. The assumption is that you will look out for your partner. The assumption also is that you and your partner aren't friends, which you probably are, and won't ditch together, which you probably will. So Electronic and Shurik is probably getting shit-faced with the vodka in their cabin now, and no one will notice. Anyway, walking towards a well-torn forest is quite difficult. Moreover, while we already been hiking for half an hour, we went rushing into the depths of the forest, trying to face all the dangers that could test our courage and harden our pioneer spirits. But instead, we were just walking around in circles. However, if we take into account that Olga, was our chief, this hike could be compared to a hobbit's match for the Shire, Hire's march from Shire to Mordor. From the Shire to Mordor. I was about to say, it should be the Shire. And should the be capitalized? No, it shouldn't be. Mordor. But one doesn't simply walk into Mordor. Anyways, what? Just as Zoe insisted, I was following her at a distance, in silence. You could talk to her about Mordor. She might actually like Tolkien. Actually, I wonder how popular Tolkien was in Soviet Russia. Were they actually censoring books yet? Oh well. The librarian seemed... Was she technically a librarian? Whatever. Seemed to be perfectly okay with it. Hey, do you know when we will reach our destination? Our what? This place where we settled down to set up camp? The whole point of this hike isn't to set up camp, but the hike itself. You do realize that, right, idiot? You don't get it. Yeah, it seemed that I didn't understand a thing about hiking. I guess you're right, but still, I don't know. She replied. She just gets smaller in the distance. She replied as she quickened her pace. I caught up to her and asked, "Listen, why are you always so bitchy?" What? I was about to say mean, but she stopped short. I haven't done anything bad to you, and I'm not going to. She glared at me in surprise. Always so what? Well, unsociable, kind of. Or is it something about me? Oh, cut the stupidity out already. As you wish. I decided not to start a conversation with her for the rest of the hike, much less the rest of my life. What? Ellipses agreed. Ooh, we walked into a magical forest. There's fairies over here. There's magical mushrooms here. What? At last, Olga decided to end this toil. What? I don't know. It's time to halt. Halt. Excuse me. Oh, I thought that music was coming from outside. This place chosen turned out to be quite large glade. Yeah, with a few trucks. Damn it, trucks. Well, a few trunks laid in half circles to make an impromptu arbor. With the remains of a campfire in the middle. Obviously, such hikes are a tradition in this camp. I was sent to gather firewood. Of course I was, with the other boys. At least someone helped. It didn't take long because there was a lot of branches and logs of various size lying around. Eventually, Olga lit the fire using some old newspapers. You could have read the newspapers to get an idea of what time you're at, rather. I was eager to know what you see exactly, but couldn't discern anything other than Soviet. Shouldn't you know? Was it a different language? It should have been. Anyways, whatever. Pioneers took their place on the fallen logs, benches, and started to talk about things. The birds and the bees and I forget the rest of the song. It seems like that our final goal of this event had been achieved. The only thing missing were a pot of fish soup, aluminum cups of vodka, and a guitar. Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. What? Oh, wait a minute. They wouldn't sing that again. It's Soviet Russia. 99 bottles of beer on the wall. Why not? But I wouldn't be surprised if all of these would appear somehow. Again, the electronic boys had it. What are you thinking about? Excuse me. What are you thinking about? Sylvia sat next to me. Oh, nothing special. Just enjoying the hike, I said sarcastically. Exactly. I'm beginning to... Wow, me and the game, we're like this. Just, again, you can't see what I'm doing, but we're like that. You don't look so happy. Well, I'm not about to jump for joy. Sorry about that. Okay, I won't disturb. No, sit, talk. Pretty lady. She sat with me for a while, but after realizing that I wasn't in the mood to talk, she left to enjoy my interscoping all alone. And all I wished for was to lie down in my bed and fall asleep as soon as possible. But I was being surrounded by smoke and useless chatter of pioneers around me instead. They were cheering and laughing and in general enjoying the warmth of a summer evening. They lost themselves into the rhythm of the night. In a far-off side of the glade, I noticed Lena was arguing with Alice intensely, and Lena seemed like complete opposites to me. Sylvia had left to go somewhere after our conversation, it seemed. Electronic and Shurik were trying fiercely. Excuse me. Drinking whiskey there. Looks like I'm the only one who doesn't belong here. Why not? Only Lena and Lal stood out among the splendor. Well, of course, it was quite natural for Elise to be arguing with someone at least. But hearing Lena talk in a raised voice, I came closer, trying to understand what was going on. No, you listen to me. Wow, yeah, never seen that face before. Think whatever you want. I'll say everything. It looked serious. Oh, I made a mistake. Never get in the middle of a cat fight. Oh, why did I do this? Guys, rule number 1. Woman is arguing with someone, a family member, whatever, don't stick your head up. There's an old comedian that used to make jokes about family gets together and how they would argue and he'd just hide behind a couch. Don't. If they insult your wife, don't stick your head up. Otherwise, they'll both attack you. The person attacking your wife will attack you just for interrupting. Your wife will attack, or significant other, will attack you for getting in the way and not thinking they can defend themselves. It's a losing proposition. Excuse me, I just hit my mic. in a drunken manner. Anyways, I tried as hard as I could not to attract any attention and look like I was just sitting there with no intention of listening to them. There's nothing to think about. Everything is as clear as day. Don't try to wind me around your little finger like that. I know you too well. Well, of course you know everything. Then why don't you tell him yourself? Lena was getting angry. That alone was weird. Even considering that I didn't know what they were arguing about. That's none of your business. Alice turned around and her eyes met mine. Seconds later, Lena gave me a look as well. The girl stood there in confusion for some time. You're eavesdropping. Me? Oh, no. I was just passing by. I put my best smile on and helped not too much. By the way, today he was peeping on me. Alice gave me a mysterious smile. Lena looked at me questioningly. First of all, why would she believe such a devious fox story? I fucked up. Again, don't get involved in the fight. I didn't peep. You know quite well it was an accident. Ilsa should have been the one to blame. Sure it was. Tell that to the cops. The Gestapo. It seemed like my excuse was not working. Did you like my boobies? A shiver ran up my spine. Is that true? Lena looked at me imploringly. It was an accident. I didn't see anything there. You didn't? Well, I could show you them again. Alice cried in anger. I didn't know what to say. You see, I told you. No. Lena started to mumble and rushed away a moment later. Wait, what happened? I shouted after her. You see what you did? That girl is upset now. She gave me a spiteful smile. First of all, it wasn't me who upset her. Second, I don't have any idea what you two were arguing about. I was running out of patience. Why should I tell you? She seemed the thought. The talk was over, and she was about to leave. I grabbed her hand abruptly. Alice glared at me in fear, but I didn't say anything. I was angry at the moment, really angry. First, I was wildly enraged that Lena was upset because of me, even though it was an accident, actually kind of guilty. Secondly, I was enraged by Alice's insolence. Thirdly, I was tired, so I was about to lose my temper at the smallest thing. Happy now? I hissed, pointing at the darkness where Lena ran off. You only seem to have the guts to bomb memories. To what? To bomb? I'm drunk. And hurt innocent girls. She looked frightened, saddened, and confused all at the same time. She herself couldn't hurt anyone. You just don't know her. The only truth here is that I don't know her too well. But I absolutely positive that she wouldn't hurt anyone. That's your job. We stood there in silence for some time. I held out Lisa's hand and didn't know what to do next. The situation dawned upon me all by myself. You have to go and apologize. Why the hell should I? Alice tried to act arrogant as always, but it wasn't going to work this time. 'Cause I said so. I refused to hear her injunction and dragged her to the side of the bonfire. Olga, I'm sorry, we have some urgent business to deal with, so we'll leave early. The guidance officer tried to object, but I didn't listen and headed after Lena, pulling Alice with me. After some time, I released her hand. Any objections? All the pride and arrogance had left Alice's face long ago. If you wanted me to come with you, I will, but I have nothing to apologize. I told her the truth. We'll see about that then. I cut her short. We had been walking in silence until we entered the camp. We came to the square, and I asked Alice, "Where do we go next?" "How should I know?" "And who said that they don't know Lena well? Was it me?" Or who said that? Yeah. Alice hesitated. "Well, she could be at the island. She often goes there when she wants to be alone." "Excellent." We headed to the pier. Night came down on the camp while searching the paddles and part of the ropes. On the boat, one boat was actually missing. "Okay, today is your lucky day. You get to do several killing exercises. You build up your biceps, triceps, and arm muscle," I said sarcastically. "Are you serious?" Look at that face. Alice cast a fearful glare at me. Well, perhaps that was a little too rough, even for her. All right, I won't make you row, of course. That hardly sounded confident. Swinging the paddles appeared to be much harder this time. That's not surprising considering that today I must have already filled my annual God, I've been drinking. Not surprising considering I already did my annual rolling quota. I stopped in the middle of the river to catch my breath.